If everyone can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Apologize for the little delay getting started. First up, we have public to be heard. Do we have any? All right. Well, let's get into the fun part of today, and it's going to be our presentations. Mr. Smith is going to come up. We're going to start with Gus Crawford.
So Gus, come on up. Right next to me is good. Okay. So thanks for your patience, everybody. This is Gus Crawford. I'm sure you saw the show this year. Gus was the lead, the male lead. He played Dimitri and Anastasia. And for the past 3 or 4 years, the school has been participating in a Broadway Star tomorrow through Rochester. The school has always done well on that. This year, however, Gus did exceptionally well. And Gus was first recognized to be eligible for the Jimmy Award, which was a huge accomplishment. And then he made it to the Jimmy Awards. And he was on Broadway, and there's a picture of Gus right there that I screenshotted from YouTube on a Broadway stage at the Minskoff Theater in New York City. So before I show the video, tell us about your experience with Gus.
I had a great time. It was really exciting to be up there and meet all the kids from all over the country. It was really exciting. I'm very happy that I got that experience.
So your dad asked me to have you sing West Side Story. But I am going to play your audition tape that I have here.
Nervous and upset because this girl I never met I get to meet tonight at 8. I'm taking her to dinner at a charming old cafe. We meet tonight at 8. It's early in the morning and our date is not till 8 o'clock tonight, and yet already I can see what a nightmare this whole day will be. I haven't slept a wink, I think about approaching tonight that I feel a combination of depression and a life in one state to wait till 8. 2 more minutes, 3 more seconds, 10 more hours to go. This is done as something's ended or picked up.
So that was at the Auditorium Theater, right?
Yes.
And that was your audition to make it to the Star, or to make it to the Jimmy Awards. I'm not familiar with what the Jimmy Awards are. It's a Broadway competition, and Gus was one of 2 students from this region that participated. There's another student there from Pittsburgh, Mendon. And Gus was on stage, and he participated. He did very well for himself, and he was the first student in the history of Batavia to make it to a Broadway stage. So Gus, on behalf of the board and your fellow students and your family and the school district, well done.
All right, here we go. Big smiles. Thank you guys.
Is there anything you want to say about the experience?
I'm all good.
You want to say West Side Story? You do last
Next
time.
time.
All right. So, thank you, Gus, and to his family for being here. I'm going to yield the podium to Mr. Reed to talk about athletics, and we have a similar video, I think, to show for them as well. Don't touch it. Mr. Reed, thank you.
She's a police
Mr. Buckermeyer, will you show the video, or do you have to just tell me when?
Yeah, sure.
All right, good evening. We also have some outstanding accomplishments from this spring from our track athletes, outdoor track and field. I'd like to recognize 2 different relays. First, I'm going to call up our 4x100 meter relay. This is junior Addie O'Donnell, sophomore Nevaeh Thomas, senior Ella Shamp, and junior Charisma Westcott. If you guys can come up for a second. So these ladies this year, they, again, for the 2nd year in a row, were the 2026 Municipal Class B state champions. This is also coincidentally the same group of girls who in indoor were the Division II state champions. They do a little different from indoor to outdoor for the 4x200 meter relay. That's their third state title together in that. Now, they broke their own school record this year in state qualifiers, which was right here. That was 46.78, right? Yes. Yes. And they did, and that time was actually the fastest time of any relay in any class in the state this year. So that's incredible. And then while they were at their state championship, they ran, and they won, obviously, 47.16. Now that time was the fastest ever ran in the Class B race for that. So that's the fastest ever in the Class B. So that was a huge accomplishment there. Obviously, we've got some very talented athletes here, and these four ladies are a great example of that. Now, what I'm going to ask is, if you guys don't mind staying up here for a second, I'm going to call up Hillary as well. So I also want to recognize our 4x400 meter relay. This is comprised of junior Eddie Adano, freshman Sophia Lawrence, junior Mallory Boyce, and junior Charisma Westcott. They, this year, were the 2026 champions for Class B in that event, the 4x400. They ran, and this is a major accomplishment, they ran at 3:53.88. This beat our old school record of 3:59.09. That was set back in 2004. So that was by 6 seconds that they beat that, smashed the stick. Now this is the same group also that placed second in indoor this year at the 4x400 with a time of 4:02.32, and that was for the second division. Now also, that time of 3:53.88, it again is a Class B record for the state championship. So in both cases this year, these relays broke the record for the Class B championship in those two events. So some major, major accomplishments for these girls, and they've done great things while they've been here, so we're very, very proud of them. What I'd like to do is call the coaches up, of course, but also ask Mr. Buckenmeyer to get this thing rolling so that we can see a little bit of the footage. You guys see it?
I'll be good.
You're good? You don't need to see it? They know?
I actually don't think we're first.
Oh.
I didn't even know how to watch it. Do we have this one?
Oh, nice. Third and final section. Lane 1 are the Warriors of Vincent Valley. Lane 2 are the Falcons of Valley Stream South. Lane 3 are the Redhawks of Iroquois. Lane 4, the defending champions, the Blue Devils of Batavia. Lane 5 are the Wildcats of Depew. Lane 6 are the Gladiators of Goshen. Lane 7 are the Panthers of Ardsley. And lane 8 are the Eagles of Hobart. Lots to love about this race in Prospect. None bigger than Batavia. 46.78 for a school record and near Section 5 record just a week ago to completely shake up the state ranking conversation. It had been Colony all season long. Wolfpack is supposed to come out of Class A. Batavia, as we saw last year, and as we saw indoors in the 4x2, they own the inside. They return all four. Expect to see them. And the only senior in that group is El Ship.
Who's in order on this?
Addie, then Nevaeh, then Lee, then
In
Charisma.
the form here's today, she punched her ticket to the class final for the 200. The stadium records on this track 45. The all-time Section 5 record for those long-term curious currently stands at a 46.71. Keep an eye out for that as we continue.
Now that we double check our history there for the Section 5 record, again, just to keep that in your mind, that is indoor. We had the wrong records up. Let's focus on the race and assess records later. As they come around the final turn, Batavia has looked phenomenal thus far. Victoria's Alaska has it right where she wants it. Now we can watch the clock.
No one has goosebumps or something wrong with you.
You guys should see 105 and wait for me to go to it like 5 at a time.
Or Class B girls.
I was reading.
Introduction is not quite as long as
One are the Legends of Averill Park. Lane 2 are the Warriors of Minnesota Valley. Again, in Class B this year. Lane 3, the Blue Devils of Batavia. Lane 4, our top seed, the Quakers of Friends Academy. Excuse me. Lane 5 are the Spartans of Burnt Hills, Boston Lake. Lane 6 are the Red Hawks of Nyack. Lane 7 are the Spartans of South Jefferson. And lane 8 are the Mustangs of Mount Sinai. The Quakers come in with the fastest seated time, 3 minutes 56.45. Burnt Hills, Boston Lake, the defending champions. And they return too. The big thing about Burnt Hills' state title last year was that it was their 7th track season state title in a row. They had the longest streak of indoor to outdoor track seasons with that 7 meet that came to an end indoors, but they're going to look to start again here in Outdoor 2026. We are underway. You've also got a great Class B battle in 3 and 4. Batavia and Friends Academy. They're two big they have Maya Madera on schedule with the Quakers. We'll see what Ariana Madera has in store for us, whether or not it's in this event of the Fed, but their PRs are on her part.
Yes, slow motion.
Prescott, 55.64 Madera. The Spartans who come in with the second fastest seated time, 3 minutes 57.24. They returned 2 from last year's championship team. Addison Sear and Adeline Green. Sear a senior, Green a junior. Adeline Greer, that is. Addie and Addie, such a dynamic duo that we'll look to see play out here. So far, though, Nyack with Taitu Forest. Nyack is a team that finished top 3 in several state championships. They were 3rd in this last year. They were 3rd in the Feds indoors the year prior. They're going to hand it over first. Addie Bird takes it in second for BHBL. She took the stick from 400 hurdles. Stun Riley Flanagan, just a sophomore. The BHBL's got Batavia right on its inside. Ready to do battle as they break in on the turn. Carson, Burnt Hills, Boston Spa has Boston Lake. Boston Lake, I don't know why I keep saying that. Everybody does. They have a 7th grader on this team. Carly Fogg. What do I say? The longevity, you need it. Consider their first state championship lineup. They had Sam Torres, Cassidy Roblino, Ali O'Rourke, and Ian Paulino. They don't have any remaining members of that lineup yet. Still, here they are vying for state titles on a consistent basis. They didn't even enter any alternates. It's just the 4 that they entered. Nyack, though, is looking to prove it's worth it. Is the Red Hawks way out front. Getting ready for the halfway hand up. This is fast. 156 with 2. Next we go, Batavia in second. The Spartans of the HBL have just fallen back into 4th. As Friends Academy takes over in 3rd. The Red Hawks of Nyack at the exchange, 1 minute 56.11. Their best time this season, 3 minutes 58.49.
He's so
Nyack starting to be reeled in. Batavia's in second. Here comes Friends Academy. They have the 2 Madera sisters on 3rd and 4th leg. And Addison Sear, the Beecher Buffalo Bull, in 4th for BHBL. We could see the stadium record go down in this race. And we got a Class B state championship to determine on the line. 407.93 the team, and time to beat. by Hamburg. That is almost certainly doomed to fall. As they come off the final turn on the third leg, BHBL won a leg by Madison Sear. She's been a state qualifier since her freshman year, dating back to the 4x8 at Middletown. Here she is in Webster Schrader. I would know her. We may have gotten a little mix-up on the earlier legs. It was Carly Fogg on the second leg. She did her job, and it's now in the hands of the junior. The indoor 600 school record holder to hold off. Charisma Westcott, the state runner-up. The defending champions at the bell, 2 minutes 58.43. That last leg, 58.57. That's got to be one of the fastest 400s I've ever seen from Madison Sear. But Charisma Westcott, she's a 55.6 runner. And with a running start, there are not many runners there to have in her position. Where she is right now, Batavia into the lead. They already won the 4x1 yesterday, trying to sweep the Class B relay titles. VHBL in great position for another top 2 finish. Their consistency will continue. Will they strike back? Westcott went very early, and she holds on to the commitment. Batavia takes it in 3:53. There goes the stadium record, unofficially.
Very good. So obviously, very dominating performance. I don't know if you caught it in the beginning, the team that came in second, they came in as a favorite with a 356, which our girls obviously smashed with a 353. So that's a very huge accomplishment. So what I'd like to do at this time is ask for Mr. Smith and the coaches to come on up so that we could hand out some certificates and some plaques, and then bring up the families, take some pictures.
So I'll offer some of my congratulations to our ladies. Great job. I got the chills watching that. I got the chills watching Gus sing. So let's recognize our 4x1. Abby O'Donnell, congratulations. Leah Thomas, congratulations. Ella Shan, congratulations. And Charisma Westcott, congratulations. Let's do the 4 first. And if the parents want to squeeze up, they come on up. Maybe not. You want to pass? It's up to you.
All right.
Just talk to us.
Tom's going. We're going. Everybody in. Let's go.
Make sure. Sure.
I thought Chris was just going to step in front of everybody.
All right.
So this is the 4x1.
All right. Congratulations.
All right, and I'll do it again for the 4x4. So we have Addie O'Donnell. Congratulations again, Addie. Sophia Lawrence. Mallory, congratulations. And Charisma, congratulations. Let's do another picture.
All right. Here we go. Congrats.
Congrats. We also have some plaque. You want to present those?
Sure. So we have some flags for each of you as well. We'll also have these flags in our trophy case presented for for everybody to recognize for our state championships. So we'll do these are 4x100. Sorry, I'm going to put my own glasses on here. So first Addie, and then Nevaeh, and then Ella, and also Charisma. Those are our 4x100s.
I like our needles.
And then
Other ones to the side.
our,
Our needles.
I'm sorry, did that say 4x4?
Yeah, you're
It did? That's okay. You can still keep it. You can get 4x1. Yeah, old man glasses. So yeah, Addison and Nevaeh. And Mallory.
You borrowed Miss Coach Boyce's glasses.
We didn't get one.
Coach Boyce is fixing it.
400. There we go. That man is okay. And again, these plaques will also be in our trophy case, where all of our state championship plaques are. So they can come back and visit. Thank you, girls.
This is okay.
Very good. Don't use glasses. All right. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Congratulations, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll get a second, kind of, go on ahead on this one.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, congrats again. Congrats again.
Good luck tomorrow.
Orientations. August 8th and 9th.
Okay. All right. Coach Boyce, we won't make you go far. We'll do cross country next for you.
So we are going to, we're asking from the board for approval for, you should have in your packet a proposal for a trip to New York City. I'll let Mr. Boyce field any questions, but essentially the breakdown of it is it's a cross-country trip with our team, goes to New York City, gives our kids an opportunity to face some higher level competition. It also is a great incentive for our kids. It brings kids out for the team because it is something for them to look forward to. This is something that we've done traditionally. We lost that tradition for the last couple of years, but we want to bring it back, get the kids going on this. There is a whole plan there, as you can see it, fundraising and making sure that we can include anyone that would like to go. But I would, I highly endorse this because I think it's a really good opportunity for our kids, especially as our cross-country athletes have continued to improve in the last couple of years and the team's built back up under our current coaching staff. So,
all right, so I'll give a quick, Coach Buck and I will give a quick synopsis of the trip so that you don't have to read things, but if you have any questions, please interrupt where you feel you need to, or ask at the end. So the Manhattan Invitational is in Van Cortlandt Park, which is in the Bronx. So this trip, we've done it probably 6 to 8 times in the past. So our normal routine is for us to go down. The race is on a Saturday. We go down on the Friday. So that's going to be October 9th. We will leave in the morning, start the school day. We stay in Jersey. So just on the other side of the bridge. And we get there right around 4 o'clock usually. And we get situated in the hotel, do a quick practice, come back to the hotel, do a team dinner, and then kids have time at the hotel on that Friday nights. There's a pool at the hotel that we usually go to, but relatively early night, we get up in the morning and we end up on Saturday going into Van Cortlandt Park. No idea when the race times are until much later on in the process, but depending on when the race times are, we have the opportunity to eat breakfast at the hotel, and then we go to Van Cortlandt Park. We're there for the races, and then after the races are completed, we would go back to the hotel, give the kids some time to freshen up, and then that Saturday night we head back into the city at around dinner time, maybe a little bit before dinner time. We do a dinner in the city, usually something quick, so that they have the opportunity to spend some time at Times Square or other destinations, depending on Coach Buck and I planning this out. But usually it's Times Square on the Saturday night. and then we head back to the hotel. And Sunday morning, there's usually another window of time for us to do something in the morning before heading back to Batavia, and that's usually where, in the past, we've seen Battery Park, or something that we decide to do. Part of that's still up in the air pending approval. All right, so we would head back in the city for another couple of hours to see something like Battery Park before we head back. This year we have a holiday on the Monday, so we would still try to get back Sunday night around 8 or 9 o'clock. But there wouldn't be that we have to get up for school the next day, so it would work out perfectly. The plan is for us to have a tour bus, a charter bus, and that's a pretty expensive piece of the estimated budget that we're trying to fundraise. And we're shopping around for deals right now. We haven't put in any financial commitments because obviously pending your approval. Anything that I'm missing, or?
It's just a great opportunity for the kids to go. We always have kids that have never been to New York City. It's 5.5, 6 hours away, so it just gives them an opportunity to go see some things they might never have seen before. Get closer as a team. There's not many times where a team like a high school team will be able to get together for 3 straight days to bond and to run. And is it something that kids that have graduated still talk about? So that's kind of the atmosphere and experience that we hope to bring to this group.
Kids have been asking me for about 4 years, when are we going to go back to New York City? When are we going to go back to New York City? And this group of seniors that we have coming out have been the kids that have been, really on me for, trying to get this trip going again. So it would really mean a lot to them for sure. We have a pretty decent sized group of seniors in this year's projected cross-country roster. I know signers have just begun. It ends up being a weekend in New York City for about $250. And oftentimes kids have the trip completely fundraised, so it's no out-of-pocket cost for them. Questions?
Are you looking to hit a certain number? Like, what if, say, only 25 students sign up? Would you still do it?
So if we estimate, we would still probably do it. I think 24 to 28 would be the minimum. The fixed cost is the bus. We could always reduce the number of hotels that we have slated right now. We have a pretty good relationship. It's the same hotel that we've used in the past. We could certainly go down in number of hotel rooms, but the more people we fill in the bus, the cheaper the overall price is for each kid. So we want to fill the seats if possible. If you start to have below 24, the trip could become cost prohibitive, and we just have to do either a better job fundraising or give the kids the decision, hey, if this is the number, what do you want to do? And from what I know of them, they're going to want to go.
When was the last time you did the
So I actually thought it was before COVID, but my daughter corrected me actually today and said, no, we went in 2022 because she was in 8th grade. That was the last year so it was 2022 was the last year that we went.
I think these trips are an awesome experience for the kids. I'm definitely in favor of it. With your fundraising, make sure you let Mr. Roll know about the bowling. He's a big bowler.
I thought you were going to say candy bar.
No,
so we know where to go.
So, good luck with the fundraising. I think we can do a motion today if you guys are okay with it to approve it.
Yeah.
I'll just need a motion by Dan. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
By Katrina. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Have a great time.
Thanks, guys. Nice job.
Sorry, Chaz. I was going to try to get that next time. All right. Next up for presentations, we have Coach Staley and Mr. Reed for hockey.
So Coach Staley and I wanted to bring to the attention of the board just a few things, some updates, and let you know what it is that we're looking at. So it is the season where we would review our merger contract with Notre Dame. That's the 5 year is up, so now we review. We are not unhappy with the merger. Everything seemed to go well. We kept in great communication with Notre Dame. Coach Staley and I talk on the regular about how that's going, about our athletes and everything else. What we wanted to bring to your attention was in lieu of the view and the scope of current climate of hockey in general in Western New York, we wanted to try to do the best that we could to maintain the vitality of the program. I'm going to let Coach Staley talk a little bit about some of our numbers and some reasoning behind that, but we did want to let you know that because it's review time, we also did reach out to the schools of Genesee County just to see if there would be any interest in restriking the merger as it sat years ago. Now, we did reach out to Genesee County schools because we wanted to make it all inclusive. We did not want anyone to feel like they were left out, and it was just to gain interest. We didn't ask for any sign on the dotted line. We have not struck up any contracts. Just wanted to see if any of the school districts might be interested in jumping back into the merger. Just one piece of data that I thought would be good for you guys to hear, it's important, is in Section 5 currently, and this is a problem across New York State, this is not just a problem in Section 5 or in Batavia or even in Section 6. In Section 5 alone, there are 19 teams for hockey, which is not indicative of the number of schools that there are in Section 5. Of those 19 teams, 14 of those teams are merged, and of those 14, 10 of them are with multiple schools, more than 2. So it's really, when you're looking at the climate of hockey in Western New York, and like I said, Batavia is no exception to this, it's kind of the trend and the way that things are going. I know that Coach has some examples that he can give you about our local youth programs, but also some of the programs like what we were discussing earlier, the Geneseo program and the way that's gone. But I think it's important for you guys to know that we're kind of looking to see what this merger might look like and who might be interested in that. Coach, anything you want to say about like youth programs and numbers or anything like that?
No, I mean, I'm not going to speak on behalf of the youth hockey organization. I will just say that we've seen a continual drop in hockey in general in our community, and this is happening throughout New York State, Buffalo, Rochester. It's an expensive sport. They're $1,000 for a pair of skates. It's $400 for a hockey stick. We have priced out a number of families from the game of hockey nationwide. So this is not unusual. The first game that we play this year is against North Tonawanda, Depew, Sweet Home. Those 3 schools in Buffalo, big schools, 1 hockey team. Okay. What we're seeing in our section is continual mergers, and now Geneseo, Livonia, Avon, which became Livingston, has now encroached into Genesee County and added Pavilion. They've added Bath. And I think there are 11 or 12 schools now. So we're in a situation now where, I know that I believe that there's a student who's exiting Notre Dame this year to go back to Pavilion to play for Livingston. So numbers-wise, we're okay to continue with the varsity and a JV program. However, it's very thin now, where it wasn't a few years ago. We had modified programs. We did not have a modified program this year. That was upsetting to a lot of families. I know that we tried to make it happen. But we did move up some 8th graders last year who passed the APP successfully, that participated in JV, and it was wonderful, but that left us with just 7th graders basically to fill our modified program, which was not feasible. So as we're looking into the future and we're seeing 3 new schools in Rochester merge, you've seen this in football too. I mean, you saw like even Aquinas football just merged with School of the Arts and stuff. So we just want to be sure here. When we look at numbers right now, the numbers in our hockey program look like 28 students from Batavia, 13 students from Notre Dame. Out of those 13 from Notre Dame, 5 of them are seniors. So as we look forward, we have to make sure that we're having a sustainable program, modified JV, varsity level, and that means taking a look on what's out there and being viable. The last thing we want to do to our students
is to have kids who played JV last year say to them, sorry, we don't have a JV team this year. Because you guys have seen this in other programs right here at Batavia. When you don't have a JV program, things suffer on the varsity level down the road. And so we're trying to prevent that and trying to be inclusive and trying to be open and communicate with BND, with Notre Dame here. But you know, it's been a successful merger in 5 years. We've gone to the sectional finals twice. We've won it once. We've won 77 games together. I had 29 kids this morning at Crossroads House, which I know you told me not to talk too long, but this is the important stuff, right? And we'll have 21 more again tomorrow at Crossroads House, helping them set up for their tent sale. We challenged the kids to do 500 hours of community service over the summer, so we made a big dent into that today. So it's a community, it's one team, and it's been sort of one city, and now the question is, you know, do we need to, you know, extend this out a little bit? We were BND initially as we phased out some schools, okay? And now the question is it time to phase back in some schools if we're looking at the numbers long term? So I don't know that where the conversations are, but I think that it's worth the conversation at this point. So any questions?
You said you had preliminary reached out to some other schools. What feedback did you get?
Currently, we have 3 schools that said that they might be interested, but they want to have more definitive talks. I think that I know what Coach is alluding to is that with the numbers that we have approximately 41 athletes. To have a viable 3-level system, you should have a minimum of about 50.
I don't mean to interrupt. Out of those 41, 4 of them are goaltenders.
Yeah, that's what I was.
So 37 are skaters, and out of those 37, 6 of them are 8th graders. So we're really at 31. Okay, so 31 for a varsity and JV team is.
Do you know how many 7th graders you'd be having? Put them on.
So for modifieds right now, I believe that we have 9 7th graders between the 2 districts that play hockey.
Okay.
9 is not enough.
Right.
This year we had like 10 because the 8th graders went up. And you need 10 and a goalie to start a game. If we just went in with 11 and 1 and 2 kids were out on vacation or someone was sick, we would take a bus ride to Buffalo and they'd say, no game, and we'd come home. So you really need, for a viable modified program, 13 to 15 skaters and 1 goalie. For a JV team, 16 to 18 skaters and 2 goalies, and for a varsity team, we're 20 and 2, or 18 and 2. So we're really looking at, I mean, when we started the merger initially, we had 19 Notre Dame, 19 Batavia, and they were just varsity JV, and then we had still 14 kids left for a modified program. So right now, it's just, we're about 8 or 9 kids away from being like perfect, and that's kind of what I would like. But I think it really works good when viability of programs, when you have them modified, they move to JV, they move to varsity. Because the kids are playing at the appropriate level. And it's different. I know we saw a great, they mentioned a 7th grader running here, which is wonderful. But it's hard for me to put a 12-year-old on the ice with an 18-year-old when you're talking about a physical sport. And I don't want to be in front of the board if a kid is seriously injured going, why are we putting these young kids on the ice with these older players?
Now, with the potential of adding schools, that can change where we sit as far as our size, correct?
It could.
So we have to take in their entire population, right?
So out of the 19 schools that play hockey, we are the second. Aquinas is the smallest.
Okay.
We are the next. So we're basically number 18 out of 19 in terms of size. So taking on another school or 2, depending on what school it was, it could push us over the 1,000 beds number. It might not, though.
Okay.
It depends. So it depends on if the schools say, yes, we want to do it, if they can fund it. It seems like everywhere schools are cutting right now, and the optics is difficult. But
so that ties in what I want to say now. So the schools that I've spoken with, they're aware of the costs. We obviously, if the schools decide to join, there's a cost. The business office has calculated per student at the varsity, JV, and or modified level. So there's a cost that those students, those families, the schools will be obligated to pay, not the families. The school districts will be obligated to pay those fees to us per child. And you understand, have calculated those. So there are 3 districts that are interested. And we'd like to have an updated agreement for the board to look at in August, the August 24th board meeting. That gives us time for me to keep talking with the 3 schools who are interested, for Joe and Mark to speak with their counterparts, and we have an update. I have been in touch with Julia from Notre Dame extensively on this, as have Mark and Joel. So those would be the next steps, but in terms of financial, this to not increase our costs, simply there will be an expense incurred by those districts if those students wish to participate.
It'd actually be a decrease, because I mean, if we have 30 kids on the ice or 28 kids on the ice still costs what it costs.
Right.
So, additional kids in the program would reduce the average cost per kid.
So at this point, I'd be asking for commitments from those schools, well in time for the August 24th board meeting. But we wanted to make sure this board is aware of it. I've shared some information with you ahead of time anyway, but we wanted to at least give Mark and Joel a chance to share as well.
I have a question. What would be like the timeline? Like if we did say like we were going to merge with other districts, like what would be the commitment?
It's a good question. So the last one was 5 years. I think what we need to look at is just the vitality of each of the schools, a number of players, what their interest is. I think 5 years was a nice number, but we haven't gone that far into the discussions on that yet.
I'll just say, it's hard to say. And what we see in Rochester, I'm on the executive committee for Section 5 hockey in Rochester, so we see these coming in all the time. And a school district will add a school and drop a school the next year and add another school. It really seems bizarre to me that like you can have a school like that used to be Geneva that we now call Western Finger Lakes, and they have 13 schools. And now Geneseo, they just keep adding schools every year. And at some point, it's just lunacy. Like, I don't know how you can have a viable program with 11 or 12 different school districts all contributing a couple of kids. So, yeah, I think it makes some sense if you're going to commit to a district that you do it for a number of years, but it's hard. I mean, I don't,
I just want to, I guess I'm thinking of like the other districts. Like if you're committed to it for say a year or two, and then your child starts it, and then like all of a sudden we're like, yeah, no, we're done. And then the kid's holding this hockey stick and can't play anywhere.
Yeah, and I don't think
has to go to Notre Dame to pay,
and when the
like,
I don't mean to interrupt you at all.
No, that's
when the original merger happened between the 2 schools, all the kids that were in were allowed to finish.
Yeah.
There was nobody that was said like, oh, you've played 2 years, you're out. So they were sort of grandfathered out.
So if they were a sophomore, they played all 3 years.
Correct, they were allowed to finish. So we never.
Kid from Elba, so he was able to finish out, and then when he graduated, we used to take him.
there were still some upset parents though, I believe, wasn't there?
Yeah, and there always will be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's talking about hockey. So I think
Not parents.
whether you add schools or you don't add schools, you'll be, I mean.
Yeah, I know, I'm just trying
We
to.
had upset parents this year because we didn't have a modified team.
Yeah.
And they were like, what's going on? And well, we needed kids up on JV.
Yeah.
We needed to have a JV team. And so, yeah, I think it's going to be that way either way, but.
Just trying to
Some of
ask.
the feedback I received from one school in particular was just that question that I know we're out, so they want to make sure that they're going to make a commitment. I also took some calls from some of my colleagues who were concerned as well. So, and this was one of those districts that conversation came up, and I said, we're not, that this is the direction we're going to go in for the foreseeable future. There will not be any movement back and forth. If the kids in it, it's because Mark and Joel are right in terms of the numbers changing and decreasing.
And some of the mergers in Rochester we're seeing now, it's like Brighton, East Rochester, Honey Falls, Lima, and Wayne Central Schools. Now, what's the radius on that?
Yeah.
35 or 40?
The
That's one hockey
travel
team.
time, like, it just seems.
But this is the lunacy of high school hockey. And if we're going to have a viable program, and we want to continue to offer hockey to our students, it's not an arms race, but you have to have a program that is viable for these kids, because now you're seeing other schools encroach into Genesee County.
So is that what you're afraid of?
I am, because Portside, which is now Brockport and Spencerport, a merged program, Portside, I know they have, their numbers are down, and what stops them from reaching out to Byron Burgeon, reaching out to Elba, reaching out to Albion? I think they may already have reached out to Albion. Churchville Chile could reach out to Byron Burgeon. So, yeah, I mean, I think that this is where it's going. You're starting to see it encroach on the other side from the Buffalo schools as well. These sort of mega mergers, and a lot of it is financial from the school district point, and a lot of it is just numbers of hockey players. You know, it used to be 350 strong youth hockey players here in Batavia. That number is down considerably. So.
I would say from a proactive approach, I have a child that's turning 4, and I've been calling around trying to find somewhere for him. I talked to Mr. Lang about this. For him and 2 of his friends to start playing hockey. So I'd love to see more visibility in preschool, kindergarten. I know it seems like they're so young, but really starting off and them having that passion for it is just going to hopefully make the next generation or the next wave of children stronger and larger.
Totally agree with you. And we do have the Try Hockey for Free event, which our BND athletes work at every year. And the USA, it's like the Learn to Skate program, USA Hockey. And our BND athletes volunteered for both of those programs last year. We're on the ice helping the kids. There's all kinds of pictures of it. But yeah, we don't see it anymore. Like they used to come in, I don't know if the districts allow it or not, but they used to come in and hang like hockey sign-ups and things like that. And 4 is not too young for kids to start skating. You know, my son started at 4. And
they have a passion for it. So I'd love to see more visibility at the Y or at the elementary school or the, Robert Morris, just so they can start and see if they like it, and then we can have the team be strong like it used to be, and then have to reach
and then you can retire when you're 83 because it costs a lot of money. No, I agree with that, and to the extent that we've been able to get the kids out into the community and work with younger programs, we've done that, and we see a lot of those kids show up at our games too, which is pretty cool. So, yeah.
So I think you would, again, probably have our blessing to keep searching that and then bring something to us with a sound plan of what you're looking for.
I'm just following Jay's third.
Yeah, so what we'll have
so
is...
I think we're open to that idea. Okay, so I think that's good. Let the hockey program know we do have our community calendar that they can always post things on as well.
Gotcha.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you both.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank
Have
you.
a good night.
All right, moving right along, we have our public hearing. Mr. Smith's going to come up. We have first up our review of our district safety plan.
So 2 public hearings for tonight that are required. First one. The first part of the hearing is our safety plan, which has been updated. Just a couple of points to make there. It's been updated for the 26-27 school year. There is a 30-day public comment period. The plan is posted on our website and on our board agenda. Comments can be emailed to Mr. Bliss with any questions or suggestions. The board will then look at the plan again and ideally adopt it at the August 24th meeting. And then by law, we need to submit it to the state ed by October 1st. Each school does have their own safety plans, however, those are never made public for obvious reasons, but the district plan is made public and it's there now. There are 4 basically cosmetic changes. Essentially, one, we got rid of all the COVID era items. We updated and got rid of Save a Lives Food Source, since it's no longer in business here in Batavia. We added our new SRO agreement, School Resource Officer Agreement, and we added by law the current Parent Bill of Rights for privacy and security. So those are the changes. Outside of everything else is the same. Mr. Warren did catch a typo that we fixed earlier, so that will be updated as well. So that's the safety plan. The document itself is in the board agenda. Then we move to the code of conduct, which the board will be looking at to adopt in August. This also is a required hearing. The board will look at the updates now, as will the public, and then the board will adopt on August 24th. And the updates, we received these from our BCSD legal department and our attorneys work for us at BCSD. And essentially, there's a slew of definitions that I have a handout. There's a handout up there. It's also on the board docs. All the definitions are updated to reflect our current language and current, requirements, everything from what is a school bus to what is an employee to what is a parent to what is, cyberbullying to what is a weapon. Those reflect the current definitions that our attorneys have recommended that we adopt. And again, all those have been spelled out on the document, on the board docs, and it's also on our website as well. So those are the major changes that our attorneys have recommended for us to think about. So again, if people have comments, they just send me an email. This is the hearing for both documents, the safety plan and the code of conduct. And then if there's feedback, we'll certainly incorporate that in time for the next meeting.
Any board members, any comments? No? Or public, since it is a public hearing? No? All right. Well, we just need a motion to close the public hearing. Go Mrs. Anderson, a second by Mr. Rowe. All in favor? Aye. Aye. All right. That moves us to our superintendent report. Mr. Smith.
Well, just a few updates. You've already heard about our athletes and our musicians and our safety plan and our athletics. Just a couple of things to add. Even though school is not in session, our teachers are still engaged. These are some of the pieces that are happening right now. I attended a workshop last week. We had our coach here from Solution Tree on the PLC process. We have our upcoming leadership retreat in a couple of weeks. Dr. Corey and her staff have been working on unit and lesson design, looking at classroom management, looking at needs of diverse learners, technology, and we're getting more into AI with use of Magic School. So that's some of the stuff that's happening on campus when the students are not here. We are running a very small summer school program at John Kennedy, but that's essentially what's happening in terms of our staff. We will have summer school back next year when we have full access to all of our schools without the construction. To my next topic, construction, just a few pictures to show you. Robert Morris, there is the A-Wing classroom, a sample there. This is right from our capital project report on the left. On the right is the gym at Robert Morris being updated, so those pieces are happening. This is as of June. We have our canopies updated at Robert Morris. That's the entry points to Robert Morris is being updated. We have the Richmond Library, we can't forget about them. We're doing some exterior work there. And of course, if you look to the left, you see the fields that are being done. We expect to see that being green by the end of July, we think?
Early August.
Early August, yeah. So that's happening as well. Jackson Primary, the retaining wall run on the south side, that's being updated as well. You may have seen that if you drive through town. And hiring updates, we're still filling a couple more key positions, but we have filled so far several K-6 positions. Filled the technology position, which is always a feat. Filled the music and library media have been filled. In progress right now, we have BHS Science, we have BMS Science, BHS English Language Arts, BMS Special Education, and the Assistant Director of Special Ed. Those have either just been posted or we're in the process of screening candidates as we speak. So those are ongoing. And upcoming dates for the board, the next meeting is August 24th. New staff orientation is August 25th. I always invite the board to come to that and say hi. John always comes and speaks to our new staff orientation. Popsicles with the principal. We want to have popsicles with the principal, Robert Morris, on August 26th. And first day of school is the 8th, but for the board, I would like to invite you to come for our first day with staff, which is the Tuesday before Labor Day, Tuesday, September 1st. It's the first day for our staff, so I'll invite the board to come to that as well, to welcome our staff back in September. That's all I have for this month. Any questions?
First day of school, is that 8 o'clock that we're welcome, that you do?
The first day is for staff.
Or for staff, sorry.
September 1st, Tuesday, September 1st. Okay. I'll send you an invite on that. And we're also working on gathering invites for all the events that will load up the calendar shortly. Carl, have we got any calendar invites yet from anybody from schools?
No, and I checked today.
All right, so those are coming.
The only new one is the popsicles.
Yep. So they had until July 31st to give us a date. So those will be coming out shortly. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Next up on the agenda is consent grouping. We need a motion to consent agenda items F through N. Do I have a motion? So moved. Who's that? By chance. Do I have a second? Dan, any discussion?
I have a question.
Okay.
The music teacher that was hired is LTS, long-term sub, uncertified?
No, she will be certified in August.
That's what I think.
Yeah, we just marked her down as long-term. She has graduated. She's going to be certified just for to make sure we're like above board. We put her as long-term sub, but she is no pun intended above board. But just to make sure she's all set to go, she'll be certified by August. It's not uncommon. She's a brand new teacher.
Right, yeah, that's what I figured. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions, discussion?
I need to abstain from this vote as well.
Oh.
My sister-in-law is on the personnel docket for the musical.
And they searched.
It's not the same last name.
Oh.
So you're abstaining from which portion?
The personnel.
Just call it out specifically.
Yeah, it's the Nicole Greenbaum on our H1 appointment of personnel.
Is it for art?
Yeah. For the musical sets.
Yep. So just note that he's abstaining from Mickey Greenbaum's.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Moore. All right. All in favor? Aye. All right. That's going to bring us down to nothing for old business. Next up is new business, which we're going to have a discussion regarding our varsity soccer venues. And Mr. Smith's going to give us a little background on
Update the
that
board
first.
on this. The project was first envisioned in 2022. There was going to be a gap in between the softball field and the baseball field. That gap has since been, it's going to be then filled in. And then transitioning gradually to, should we have a place just for soccer? Both varsity and JV soccer will be possibly playing their games there. That was not the original intent. The original intent was to have baseball and softball there. And then when we filled in that gap, or as we get the gap filled in, there was some conversation at B&G to look at having a varsity soccer venue here. That was not well received. So we're working through that. And we received feedback from our families, from coaches, and a couple students as well. So the primary concerns centered around having the amenities at the turf field, which are not the same at Vendetta. Concerns with the start times of the games and darkness. These will not have lights. It will be light ready at some point, but there are not going to be any lights there. And of course, there's no competing with Vendetta, so we want to recognize the pride that is associated with Vendetta Stadium. We discussed it internally, with myself and the AD. I discussed it with the board leadership, and my recommendation would be to continue hosting varsity soccer games at Vendetta Stadium for both boys and girls, and use the turf field for varsity soccer practices as needed. JV games. The other competing factor is the field right here in the back is now a staging area, which is no longer usable. It used to be our JV soccer field. Concerns having JV soccer play at John Kennedy was also concerned. So when you use this new field, it's going to be a full soccer field. We use it for varsity soccer practices as needed, and all of our JV soccer games will be there. And pending the okay, I will send out a notification to the families that have contacted me with the hope they would then share it with the other soccer families. The booster president has contacted me for the girls soccer team, and then I've given an email going out to the coaches. But that's my recommendation, that we return soccer, or not return soccer, keep soccer at Vendetta Stadium indefinitely. So I'd like to take any questions from the board on that. Any concerns?
A question as to why there's not going to be any lighting.
Right now, it's a cost issue. So
Okay,
it's
budget.
a budget issue. Right now, we have it ready for lights, which is not atypical of other projects I've been involved with. They have been ready for lights, and then perhaps in the next project, we can add lights, or if the funding allows for it, if the money is left over, we can then look at adding lights there as well.
Thank you.
But Mr. Smith, even with the lights, they still would be at Vendetta.
Yes.
Is what you're saying, correct?
Yes.
Yep. And I just want to say to the parents and the coaches, you guys hit it out of the park when it came to, I think, an example of respect and just bringing all the details and the heart. I wish everybody would follow your example. It was just so respectful and put together well, and I can say on my part, and probably for all of us here, thank you for that. And I know for me, I couldn't imagine my boys coming or playing in any other stadium than Vendetta. And so, anyway, I just figured I'd share my heart with that and want to say thank you.
We appreciate being heard.
Very much.
I appreciate John calling me and, letting us know that you looked at the letter. It has some very good points, and we're just here trying to promote for our kids, just like you said. Addison, since she was little, wants to play at the stadium. It's a premier site in Western New York. It still is. So our kids deserve that. So we appreciate you guys listening to us. And thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a good example of just communication and knowing like, okay, if you have an issue, the chain of command that we always talked about, go to the appropriate people. You know, you guys, you weren't being blasted on social media. It was a very productive, you know, we heard it, we listened, and we do. We might not respond to every email, but I think as a group, you know, we care. We want to do the best for the students.
Yeah, you guys are very responsible. There was an email going out to the families that contacted me, you know, like including you two. Others, so please share that with others. Yeah, we will. It'll be out probably tomorrow morning to start finalizing the letter. It'll explain everything I just said here. And I appreciate the board listening and hearing this out, and we appreciate the feedback. But I would echo what Dan said as well. We recognize the feedback. The comment I made to a friend or family member, there's no competing with vendetta. There's not. So, and that's how I ended the conversation. So, thank you.
Any other discussion? All right. That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a great night.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, we have discussion and other reports. All of our reports from Director of Curriculum and Instruction and Business Administrator are posted online, so feel free to go on. All right, do we have any board member comments or reports?
I was going to bring it tonight, completely forgot. We get the monthly newspaper for members. Yes. I got one today, but the last one we got it, there's an interesting article which talked about a portrait for the graduate, the new portrait that's coming out. And there was like a lot of important stuff that they mentioned as a board. I think that we should be mindful of, like when Ms. West talked about high school, and there was like how the board can be effective in the decision making. So just something I wanted to put out there for you to read that, just to pay attention to. I think it's very important, and the fact that it said something about, I may not be wording it correctly, but like the district has the ability to decide what their district wants to do as far as a portrait of graduate, which to me, like that's a passion of mine as far as like the education and the AP courses and the technical courses that our students take. I think it's so important to, so if they say that we have some control of it, I think we have to be very mindful of that. So I don't know.
Yeah, I would encourage the board to read that article. And then there's a post right behind Carl that talks about that. But I couldn't, if the board's interested, I couldn't invite Dr. Corey or someone or both, someone that goes to do an update. I think you had an update last year.
Yeah, we had an update.
So since the principals, Jenny has gone to a couple trainings, Molly's gotten to them, so there has been more. We just updated the assistant principals on the last week, myself and Molly, so I can talk about the presentation of that. Okay.
That coming up, we need to start scheduling our board retreat, and what route you guys want to go with that, who to have come in and whatnot, so just have that on your mind as well.
Typically, last year we did NISBA, so we have a couple new board members, so the retreat would be to look at goals, roles and responsibilities, so we typically have them in the fall. You know, look at your calendars and shoot me an email. We try to avoid sports conflicts and little kid conflicts and all that kind of stuff. So let us know if you haven't had UOH or Carl and I can throw something out there. And if you have interest in working with a different vendor, NISBA has been our go-to. You can look at other vendors, other contractors as well. So NISBA is your voice. I always like to recommend that, but there are other options too.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Any other board comments, questions? No? All right. So we just need a motion to enter into executive session.
Send your recommendation.
Oh, did I miss that?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're right. I skipped that before I went down.
Where is that?
Two comments.
That's just the first reading.
It's just first reading, so we can move on to the second. For approval in August.
So we just need a motion for that?
Yes.
All right. Sorry, Carla. Good catch.
It's okay, Jim.
Don't hold it against me. All right, so we just need a motion for our tenure recommendations, which are listed on your agendas. Do I have a motion? It's just for first reading.
So moved.
By Jen. Do I have a second? By Ches. All in favor? All right. Now we'll go for a motion to go into exec.
Let me just pause for 1 second. I just wanted, sorry, Mr. President. I wanted just to have you meet Lauren Leon. Lauren is a 2018 graduate. She is a PR person from BCSD, Monroe to BCSD. She joined us about like July 5th or so, July 6th. Proud BHS graduates, so we speak the same language, which is always helpful. So she's dived right into a number of issues already. I just want to have you meet Lauren, and she's excited to be here. And our partnership with BCSD is already up to a strong start. So Lauren, this is the board. Welcome, welcome back.
Thank you for the warm welcome. I'm very excited to be here.
Sorry.
All right. Anything else? All right. So, moving on, we need to call for executive session. Executive session will be to discuss matters relating to the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. Yes, so we will be returning back from executive session. Yep. Do I have a motion to adjourn in the executive session? So moved. By Mr. Roll. Do I have a second?
Second.
By Ms. Lindred. Katrina, you got to talk up louder. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We're going into executive session.